Welcome. Welcome. Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community. I'm sorry?
You're fine, go ahead.
And pursue the common good. My name is Susan Bishop, and my pronouns are she and her. No matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming, we greet you today with love. Our chalice is lit today by Luann Faulkner Schneider, who, among many other things she does for our congregation, serves as chair of our Committee on Ministry.
We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, and the cleansing heat of justice and the flame of hope.
Thank you, Luann. We begin our service today with these words from Reverend Maureen Kelleran. For the blessing of animal companions, we give thanks. For the beautiful ones, whose fur is silky and whose tails are long, whose feathers are brilliant or whose voices are splendid, we give thanks. For the frantic ones, the runts and the hungry who run for a food bowl or a pat as though it is life's last possible gift, we give thanks. For the obnoxious ones, the heads that butt against us as we're trying to sleep, the bodies that refuse to learn discretion as they make digestive gifts, we give thanks. For those who bark and purr and growl and mew, for all who squeak or squawk or snarl or hiss, we give thanks. For the animals unknown to us, those whose niche in life's web is fragile, whose lives are insecure, for all who care for them and wish them well, we give thanks. Blessed are the animals. Blessed are the creatures who live with us and need our care. Blessed are the mammals and the reptiles and the birds who teach us we are not alone. Blessed are all living things from whom we learn to love. Our opening hymn today is This Is My Dog. The words were written by Reverend Elizabeth Weber and Barbara Weber. It's sung to the tune of number 159 in our gray hymnal, This Is My Song, music by John Sibelius. And this was performed this time last year by Lana Henson, Tom Baucom, and Diane Broyles. This is my dog.
they help us know of things that swim and fly. Porpoises and rhinoceros and condors, they need our care much more than we can tell. So may we live in ways that bless all creatures, both near and far. We pledge to treat them well.
Our story today is called Before You Were Mine. It was written by Maribeth Boltz, pictures and illustrated by David Walker, and published by G.P. Putnam Sons. Before you were mine, did you live in a warm house with warm smells, in a rug that was only yours? Did you have a boy who saved you the last bite of his cookie and raced with you at the park? Did you have another name like Gus or Sam or Teddy or Howie or maybe Miles before you were mine? Was your boy proud when you learned a trick? Did he talk about you at recess or laugh when you licked his chin? Before you were mine, someone must have let you go. Maybe it was because they forgot that puppies chew stuff and pee on the carpet and bark at birds. Maybe they didn't know that dogs like digging holes and drinking from toilets and hogging the bed when it's stormy. We saw that this week. Before you were mine, was someone mean to you? Were you kept on a chain with a dusty bowl and lonely sounds all around? Did someone say bad dog, even though it wasn't true? Before you were mine, maybe a family loved you, but they had to move, and the guy at the new apartment said no dogs allowed, and he meant it. Or maybe one day they left their gate open and you ran away. And they never heard that if your dog runs away, you look for him until you find him. Before you were mine, the shelter told us that you had been running for a long time, eating whatever you could find, which wasn't much. Alone and scared, like a dog should not be. Did you sleep in dark alleys? Did you dream of a boy? Before you were mine, you were rescued. They brought you to a place where lots of other dogs waited. They gave you a meal, and a bath, and a bed of your own. But you weren't sure. You huddled in the back of your cage, shivering, with your tail tucked under. The tag on your cage read Stray. Before you were mine, we had an old dog, as worn out and friendly as she could be. When we said our goodbyes, she wagged her tail one last time. We sniffled and prayed and cried like there would never be another dog who would love us just as much and who we would love too. But there was you. Before you were mine, they couldn't have known what they had in a dog like you, or they never would have let you go. So maybe it doesn't matter what happened before you were mine, because now you're home. The end. And now I'd like to invite Laura Lochner up to do our offering. Laura?
Good morning. Let's see. Oh, okay. Good morning. My name is Laura Lochner, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I am currently serving in my second year as a church board member. I also serve on the membership committee, and I am leading a discussion group about racial matters. And I've also been in the spirituality covenant group for about 20 years. And in the past, I served on the policies and procedures committee. So every Sunday, whoops, text jumped down. Every Sunday we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work in our community, our Change for Change partners. This month, our Change for Change partner is the Oklahoma Black Museum and Performing Arts Center. First established in 2008, the Oklahoma Black Museum and Performing Arts Center collects, exhibits, stimulates appreciation for, and advances knowledge of the arts, primarily by and about African Americans, featuring permanent collections by Oklahomans, as well as rotating exhibits by local and renowned artists alike. The museum provides a welcoming community of diverse artistic expression in Oklahoma City. You may wish to make your donation using a credit card through our website, or this could be a good time to find your checkbook, write out a check, and put it aside to mail to First Unitarian. Let today's offering reflect our highest aspirations for the work of this church in the world.
Hey, everybody, come sing a song with me. Here's our note. La. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll sing a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. A rose in the winter time. Thank you.
What is it about the soft fur of an animal when it cuddles against you? How a cat can lean into your shoulder? How a dog naturally wants to lay its head on your knee? Animals bring a sense of peace to us, whether it's a cat purring on our lap, or a dog laying at our feet, or a horse following us around the field hoping for a sweet treat. We depend upon them for companionship. Studies show petting an animal lowers our blood pressure, and animals have the capacity to sense our moods. Experiments have been done where only a person's facial features telegraph anger, producing avoidance behavior in dogs. When the person smiles, the dog responds by being more attentive. Further research shows significant findings regarding positive mood changes in humans exposed to animals, especially as related to anxiety and depression. Other analyses continue to look at ways in which animals positively impact patients dealing with pain from cancer treatments and patients with heart disease, epilepsy, autism, and post-traumatic stress. The simple act of petting an animal releases serotonin, oxytocin, and prolactin, all hormones that play a part in elevating our moods. Animal therapy, or pet therapy, refers to the use of animals as a way to help people cope with and recover from physical and/or mental conditions. In the early 90s, we started a small pet therapy program at the VA, beginning with a Russian gerbil. The vets had pet names for him like Jarhead, Grunt, Squid, Airedale, and the like. But what I noticed was how some of our guys who really considered themselves to be tough overall melted when they held this tiny animal in their hands. Faces softened, bodies relaxed, and stress melted into the carpet. We began a more formal animal therapy program soon after, where a volunteer with a certified therapy dog came and visited our veterans at bedside. I could tell you thousands of stories of the impact that dog made with our veterans, but the common denominator, comfort. I can't tell you the number of times my cats perform some outrageous antics and I become a blob of belly laughs. Years ago, I dove off the bow of our pontoon boat and Scooter, our dog at the time, dove in after me. We figured out pretty quickly he'd overcome his fear of water. But then the challenge was teaching him to climb the ladder to get back into the boat. More recently, and more importantly, how terrified I felt 7 months ago when our dog Cody protected me from 2 dogs who had left their yard to pick a fight with him. And how humbled I felt afterwards, knowing that this adopted animal truly loved me. Animals fill a void within us, especially during this time when we've been relegated to staying home, getting out only when necessary for fear we might become ill from the virus. And the void I refer to is the lack of direct socialization that we're all suffering. We see each other over a phone screen, a computer screen, or a television screen, but it's two-dimensional. It's impossible to see the whole person or get a feel for their body language and how the person is really feeling or doing. And when I do have the opportunity to see someone in the flesh, so to speak, exuberance bubbles within me like fountains ready to burst their pipes. All too often over this last year and a half, I've heard from folks in our church that Zooming just isn't the same as being together. It's not. It won't ever be, because we miss that companionship that comes from being physically present with each other. Comfort, love, companionship, humor, joy, company. These are words I may associate with my relationship with animals, but I also associate those very same words when we reach out to each other. It's why I think the circles of care are so important. You have to be the one to sign up, though. All you have to do is fill out the interest form found in the newsletter. There's a website linked to it, or a link to it. I hope you'll join me and others as we embark on this new journey of discovering companionship and comfort in a new way. Thanks.
Thank you, Susan. In the Catholic faith, tomorrow is the feast day of Saint Francis of Assisi. October 4th is the anniversary of his death, almost 800 years ago. Francis was an Italian friar who swore an oath of poverty and consecrated his life to kindness, kindness to all beings, including all plants and all animals. Francis cared for the animals when they were sick. He freed them from traps and from fishing nets. It's said that he would preach to the birds, and he counted all animals as his siblings. Francis understood that animals bless the world with their very being, and in return, he blessed them. It is in that tradition that many people today bless our companion animals around this time of the year.
If you have an animal with you today, like Teddy here, I invite you to bring them on screen if that's possible before they jump off, and we will highlight you. Whether or not you have your animal friends with you today, please go ahead and write the names of the animals who bring you comfort and joy in the chat if you're with us on Zoom, or in the comments if you're joining us on Facebook. Luna, Willow, Emily, Fred, George, Teddy the English Cocker Spaniel, Mr. Jasper and Ms. Zena, my dog Joey and cat Kithrin, George, my cat, Pixie, Barnaby, Finn, Ellie, Sam, Cody, and Scooter, Lily, Lloyd, Gracie, Greta, and Gidget, Jasper, Chance, Heidi, Lola, Bran and Rum, the Wonder Greyhounds, Shrappy and the Boo, Rascal and Gray Boy Greg, Rua, excuse me, Hedwig, Bunny, Nikita, Sirius Black, Avery, Aiden, Peace, Trouble, Mayhem, and Stormageddon.
Some of the names of animals are Trouble and Mayhem and Armageddon.
All right, Scotty, Max, Buddy, Skipper, Casper, Sissy, and Alice, Sparky and Daisy, Squashy, Diddy, Daisy, Chico, and Angel, Gil, Finn, Dorothea the cat, and Theodore the cat.
And on Facebook, we have Keiko, an 18-year-old Siamese, Sylvia, Satin, Lil Miss, and a new kitten, and Charlie the Hound.
Let me lift up Rabin coming into the chat as well.
To all these dear, precious beings, we thank you for bringing comfort and joy into our lives. We thank you for teaching us about unconditional love. We thank you for always being your true and full selves. We thank you for showing us how to live in the moment and to appreciate even the smallest pleasures in life. You have blessed us in innumerable ways, and in return, we bless you, and we wish these things for you. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be comfortable. May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you know that even when we can't be with you, our love and our care continue on.
It does.
And if your animal friends are with you today, I encourage you to follow this spoken blessing with one that they might better understand: an ear scratch, pat, a belly rub, or a really nice treat. Some of you sent us pictures of your animal companions, and we'd like to share those with you all now. And if you sent us a video, hold on, we're going to put those at the end of the service. Here are our animal parade. This poem is Comfort Animal by Joy Layden. A voice says, your punishment has ended. You never listen to that voice. Another voice says, cry. That voice always gets your attention, keeps you thinking about withered flowers and withering grass and all the ways you're like them. Hard to argue with that. Death tramples you in like an unhousebroken pet, trailing prints and broken stems, pooping anxiety, PTSD, depression. It's better to be animal than vegetable, but best of all is to be spirit, flying first or maybe business class with your emotional support animal, your body, curled in your lap, soaring with you above the sense of loss you've mistaken for the closest to God you can get. You want to cry? Cry about that. Who do you think created the animals to whom you turn for comfort? Dogs, miniature horses, monkeys, ferrets, hungers you know how to feed, fears you know how to quiet. I form them, fur them. It's my warmth radiating from their bodies, my love that answers the love you lavish upon them. Your deserts and desolations are highways I travel, smoothing your broken places, arranging stars and constellations to light your wilderness. Sometimes I play the shepherd, sometimes I play the lamb. Sometimes I appear as death, which makes it hard to remember that I am the one who assembled your atoms, who crowned your dust with consciousness. I take you everywhere, which is why wherever you go, I am there, keeping you hydrated, stroking your hair, laughing when you chase your tail, gathering you to my invisible breast more tenderly than any mother. You're right. You never asked for this. I'm the reason your valleys are being lifted up, the source of your life laid bare. Mine is the voice that decrees, that begs your anguish to end. When you suffer, I suffer. Comfort me by being comforted. White carpet plus new puppy is not a good combination. And so after I adopted a sweet whippet puppy named Nigel, named after Nigel Tufnell from the movie Spinal Tap, I put down area rugs and runners to cover as much carpet surface as possible. But Nigel, like his namesake, had very particular aesthetic opinions, which included moving the rugs and runners and throw pillows and any other small items of house decor to wherever they best fit in with his personal sense of style. He also had a discerning taste when it came to book bindings, preferring to chew only my completely irreplaceable Soviet-era hardbound collections of the great Russian writers. His wide-eyed innocence belied a disturbing duplicity as well. Fairly often, I'd return home from work to find him sitting in his crate with the door just slightly ajar, looking at me as if to say, "Oh, hi, glad you're home. I've just been here locked in my crate all afternoon." And I might have believed him if it hadn't been for the whippet-sized indentation in my bed. As it happened, Nigel came into my life at a time when I needed him most. I'd taken a job in a place where I knew no one. My father was dying of cancer. And it was in the days just after 9/11 when my field of work, international education, was in a complete state of chaos. And just when I thought I could take not one thing more. This happened. After filling a bowl with tomato soup, I went down to the basement to watch the news, and one of those carpet runners that I'd put down on the stairs came loose. And I went sliding down with it like a canoe on Whitewater Rapids. By the time I hit the landing, the walls and the white carpet looked like a tomato-based crime scene. And I lost it. The floodgates opened and I just sat there and wept until this blurry little black spot came into my vision. Nigel's nose. He licked the tears off my face and sat glued in front of me until it was clear that everything was going to be okay. That skinny little dog was the greatest source of comfort I could have asked for at such a low point in my life. He offered comfort with no strings attached, comfort without words, without judgment, without opinions or unhelpful advice like, cheer up, it's not so bad. He just cleaned my face and he sat with me. More than a decade later, the tables were turned. I was married to Jim then, and we were living in another state, and Nigel was very sick with some illness that threatened to cause him a great deal of pain. We didn't know when that time might come, but we knew we didn't want to put him through that. And so we made the incredibly difficult decision to euthanize him. Thankfully, we had one of those vets who approached the assisted death of a companion animal as the holy sacrament that it is. We had the entire office to ourselves for that time, and we were able to sit with our little guy and hold him until his heart stopped beating, and even for some time after that. In that sterile environment, racked with doubt that we were doing the right thing, the two of us needed comfort, but it was more important that we were there to comfort Nigel, to see him through to the other side. And so we did. And afterwards, we took a walk in a frost-covered field where a small herd of deer stopped very close to us, looking at us with their huge, calm eyes for an unusually long time, offering us the comfort of nature. What, for me, is the all-embracing embodiment of the divine. That spirit of love and creation that I believe is the voice in that poem by Joy Layden that says, I take you everywhere, which is why wherever you go, I'm there. Those deer were comfort animals in the same way that Nigel had been to me. And what the experience of euthanizing a beloved animal has taught me is that I am a comfort animal too. Not everyone will have an animal friend in their life, but all of us have the capacity to be comfort animals to one another. I know I spend a lot of time talking about the importance of discomfort, and I feel that I won't be doing my duty as a Unitarian Universalist minister if I don't manage to make every single person feel a little uncomfortable at some point. But comfort takes two different forms. There is the comfort of sameness, of established hierarchies, of correct ways of doing things, of binary categories, of white supremacy, of thinking, why can't everyone else just be like me? Of putting people of all kinds of privilege at the center of things. And that is the comfort that I believe our faith must disrupt if it is to continue to be relevant and meaningful. But there is another kind of comfort that we can embrace, a comfort without words, a comfort without judgment, a comfort without opinions or unhelpful advice like, cheer up, it's not so bad. Comfort that comes from someone just sitting with us and wiping away our tears. Sitting with us as we pass over to the other side, whether that other side be death or retirement, children moving away, disillusionment or illness, or the simple scandal of aging. It is this form of comfort that a suffering world filled with suffering beings calls us to offer from the depths of our hearts. Bless all the comfort animals, including the human ones. May ours be the voice that says, when you suffer, I suffer. Comfort me by being comforted. And now I invite you to write the names of the beloved animal companions who have graced your lives, who you would like to remember with a blessing today. We invite you to write the names again in the chat, those animals who've passed through your lives. If you're on Facebook, please write them in the comments.
Tess, Marlon, our amazing Nigel, Spike, Minnie, Mischief, Digit, Elia, Aki, Abby, and Poochie. Scooters, Sophie, Levi, Tequila, and so many others. Strider, Spooky, Ren, Wiggle, Lola, and Monique. Seamus. Sparky, Petty, Big Kitty. Stanley, Lindy, Tessa, Reggie. Divot, Sophie. Our beloved Gracie. Leah, Kiko, Teska, Blana. Hetty, Annie, Poppy, Kiwi, so many others. Max, Granny, Tulip, Mischievous, Ula, and Angel. Georgie, Cookie, Jack, Zoe, Tig. Rhapsody in Blue. She was 15 when we euthanized her. Dakota, Sammy, Tristan, Babak, Maddie, Macy, Shira, Waji, Caleb. Danny, Roxy, Lassie, Taffy, Yoda, Norbert. Sophia, Dallas, Peppy, Bagheera, Leo, Trudy. Sean, Betsy, and Buster. Natasha and Sparky and Mr. C. Guy, Charlie, Bonnie, Willie, Lassie. Sid, Lily, Elvis, and Mouse. Mitzi and Mittens. Zeus the goldfish. Sable, Patches, and Tux. Blue Jean, Cash, Alice, Springs, Eternal, Tiger, Socks, Woody, Snoopy. Gracie, Misha, Sumi. Butterscotch, Bumper, Oscar, Tristan, Courtney, Lady, Pearl, Blackie, Socks, Mitzi. Mickey, Evi, Lulu. Lundy, Sparky, Blackie, Spooky, Chateau, Bidiao. And from mine, Pudding and Lucky.
And from Facebook, we add Leslie, Lilu, and Thursday, and Boomer. Dear, dear spirits, today and all days, we honor and bless your memories. You brought so much comfort and joy into our lives. And even if your passing has brought us pain, but that pain is a reminder to us that to love, to really love, means at some point to have our hearts broken, to know what it feels like to have our hearts on the outside of our bodies and to see them shattered. But when a heart is broken by love, no matter how painful the process may be, that heart does eventually heal. And its broken places become new openings into which even more love can expand. If we dare to love and lose again and again, we will gain so much more than we lose. And we will come to know that when a loved one departs from our life, it's not that we replace them in our hearts. We just find even more room for more love and more without limit, for helping us to understand this important lesson and for so much more. We thank you and bless you. Here are just some of the beloved beings who we still carry in our hearts. Our closing hymn comes to us from the UU Animal Ministry. It's called Dare to Rise, written and performed by Anna Huckabee Tull. And for those of you who are sensitive when it comes to images of animals hurting, there are a few images in this slideshow that might be hard to see. It's a reflection of what happens to animals in our world today, but I hope you'll find it in the end uplifting as well. This is called Dare to Rise.
The sun, she rises over all creation, large and small, each and all, each day. And when she rises over all creation, large and small, each and all, we hear her say that we are called to rise and feel the stirrings of all life right here in this world we call home, sacred life all around. What is our place here among all creation, where we are all gifted with this place? What do we say here among all creation with our deeds and with our ways? Do we dare to rise? Do we dare to see the widening ring of everything, widening ring of everything we claim, pushing small lives away, of everything it takes for us to live this way, of the lives our hunger claims, for us to live this way. Do we dare to rise and feel all life? Do we dare to rise and see all life? Do we dare to rise? 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 Do we dare to truly feel? Do we dare to see? See the way, see the way, dare to change, dare to change. See the way, see the way that the sun, she rises over all creation, large and small, each and all. each day. The sun, she rises over all creation, large and small. Each and all.
We extinguish the flame, but not the light of love and community which burns in our hearts.
Blessed are you when you comfort and when you are comforted. May you know the healing and unconditional love of nature. May that love flow through you, to you, and from you. May all animals, all beings know that they are held in a web of care. Our postlude today is the video that we made of the short videos that many of you sent into us. And once that's over, we invite you to leave this Zoom space and come back in our regular Zoom room where we will have our coffee hour and have some time to chat in small groups. Many blessings on you all and all of the animals gathered. Be well.
This is Red, and this is Blue scratching here. Doesn't really have sleeves, but he's scratching anyway. There's Red's big old face. There's his big old body. Here's a better picture of Blue coming around the tree stump, both going by the water dish.
This is Sparky. He is a schnoodle. That's a schnauzer poodle combination. He was 4 when we got him from the Humane Society, and now he's 11. His good trick is that he's very polite and careful, never ever to get in the way. If you open a door for him, he waits for you to go through first. If you're walking down the stairs, he never gets in front of you.
This kitty is named Gidget. Gidget was found in Hafer Park in Edmond, Oklahoma. She followed the Faulkner Schneider's home after a morning walk and hasn't left since. That was around 10 years ago. This is Miss Gracie. She is our elder statesman. She is 16 years old and a ragdoll kitty. This is Greta. She's sisters with Gracie, and they are both around 16 years old. Can you do something cute, Greta?
This is Squashy. She is about 11 years old, and we love everything about her, but I think we're most grateful for the fact that she's still here with us, because a little over 2 years ago, Squashy had a pretty bad case of bobcat fever, but she got over it and now she's back to normal.